I'm going to be installing the Chamberlain B730 garage door opener. Right now I have some piece of garbage Genie garage door opener that I can't take it anymore. It is so loud and grinding. That thing has got to go. I even tried putting rubber feet up there to help isolate the noise from the upstairs bedrooms, and it didn't do much good. And I'll let you listen to what it sounds like. Pretty terrible. So I got this kit, the Chamberlain Ultra Quiet series, comes highly rated. I got the one that has the the two remotes, and then it has the outdoor mounted keypad, which I've used these before. Those are really cool. So you don't have to have one of the remotes with you. And then it also has this inside button. You mount it, you know, where that one has the red lighted button over there. This is there, do this, but it's supposed to have motion detection on here with this thing. So it'll, I guess, see when you're in the garage and turn on the light for you. And who knows what else it can do in here. So anyway, that's that. I've already got the pieces out. And I already installed the, or put together the rail for the belts, because this is a belt drive unit here. And pretty simple. These pieces just snap together. There is this trolley just slides on the end. And then you have this piece, they call it the U bracket, and this goes towards the motor. And then there's a different piece here that goes, this is the door end, whereas the rest of them kind of have a taper where they all slide into each adjoining piece. This final piece does not have the taper on it, and this is what's going to mount to the actual garage door up there. So with that being said, next step I think is to mount this rail to the motor. Actually, it looks like the next step is going to be installing this bolt here in the rail. And I love it when directions come with the little guide printed right on there at what hardware you're looking for. Not that I don't know my hardware, but when you have a bag full of random stuff, it just makes it a little faster to know that you've got exactly what you need. So we'll put that bolt in the rail right here. And I'll use a 11mm socket and a crescent wrench to tighten all this down. Next is to take these two bolts out, and then these two mounting holes are going to go in here, and then we're going to bolt them right back down. And I think that's probably a 13mm. Let's just see. And indeed it is. 13mm socket. And for this part, it's going to help immensely if you find a box of similar height to the motor and set the other end of the rail, of the belt rail, on that box. That way you're not trying to tighten these bolts down at an angle. Alright, now you come down to the other end, and we're going to basically we're going to put the belt through here, and then we're going to put the idler pulley in here as well. And we're going to be making some forward motion towards getting this thing done. This belt, I actually thought this thing would be a lot bigger, a lot thicker, but you can see that it's about the width. Pay attention to the bruise on my thumbnail. It's not even really the width of your finger. Pretty strong stuff. Okay, and you're going to pass this thing through this hole, just like so. You want to keep the ribbed portion of the belt towards the inside of the rail. Once you get that looped through, slide your pulley in here. Okay, and then we've got a bolt that goes through the top, and it's the only black bolt in the kit. Okay, and it goes through just like that. And then we'll put the nut and the washer, lock washer, on the bottom side of it. And for this, I'm using a handy old crescent on top, and then a ratchet and a 14mm socket on the nut on the bottom. You pull the belt down along the guide, and you're going to hook this end in to the trolley right here. And you got two different ends of the belt. You have this one that has the hook, and you have this one that doesn't. So just by luck, I threaded the belt on here the right way. Now knowing that there's two different ends on here, I would watch for this. So this is going to hook in here, just like so. And then the rest of that belt we're going to pull back, and we're going to go around the motor. Well, I'll show you in a second. Okay, so you're going to run this belt all the way down the length of the shaft. You pull it tight. You're going to pull it tight, and you're going to pull it around the sprocket up here. And then this end here, you're going to take, and we're going to connect it to that threaded shaft right there, of which is going to come in its own separate package inside the box. And that spring with the nuts is going to be threaded on that shaft. Take it off. The directions are not clear. You know, it shows that they're all assembled. You're going to take that off, and then we're going to connect this and the eyelet there of that threaded shaft with that master chain link there, and then put a couple of keepers on it, and then we'll be ready to put the tension on this belt. Okay, and there's what it looks like all connected. You just slide that through both holes, put the link on that side, and then the keeper goes over the top of it, which can be a little bit of a trick to get that snapped in, but there's rings around the end of each pin on the link here, and then inside those rings, I guess, is where that keeper slides into place. Okay, and so now this is going to slide through this hole. Okay, slides through that hole just like that, and then we're going to put that adjustment thing back over the end of this. So supposedly what's going to happen now is that we're going to tighten this thing up here, and you're going to stick a flat blade screwdriver into the slots on that silver washer, and then we're going to tighten this nut down with a crescent wrench or 7/16, and then you're going to tighten it, and when it reaches the optimum tension, this is going to snap forward over. See that gap there? It's going to snap forward over that gap, and then the spring is just going to do its own thing there with the tension. So that's the idea behind this. We'll see how it works. I went ahead and pulled the belt as tight as I could around the motor gear over there, so there's less slack it's got to take up. It doesn't say to do that in the directions, but it just seems like it makes sense to me. So we'll see. Okay, there you can see I've done it. I've found that to be a little more tricky than the directions make it out that it should be. I ended up having to get my biggest flat blade screwdriver to try to hold that washer into place, and it didn't even take like a quarter of a turn on that flat head or on this flat side nut before that thing sprung over. And then I've got a pretty good tension on the belt. And then I guess this is to fine tune the adjustment, because you can still turn this, and obviously I've got a lot of adjustment there I can use to pull up any slack in it if I need to. And that's pretty much that part. The next step is going to be install the cover over the sprocket there, and then I think it's going to be ready to get mounted to the ceiling. Let's see. Yep, determine the header bracket location. Yeah, all that stuff. So it'll be time to put it up on the ceiling next.